Scott Westerman. Welcome. Thank you for coming. So I just had the absolute pleasure of teaching Shakespeare and physical comedy at DePaul University's the Theater School's summer program. And it was all online, and we had two completely different sections of students. And I had a great time. And TJ was there with us the entire time. He was a teaching assistant, goes to DePaul, is getting his MFA right now. And it was a great program. And all this like fear of being able to create some community, being able to find a way to have ensemble in a room. And that matters to all of us that are theater teachers, drama teachers. But I think it's important for any classroom. And all of my teaching tenets are around the idea of self-discovery and understanding more about yourself. And if you're not looking at where you are in relation to what you're learning, you might not be fully ingesting it. That's just my theory with learning and how it is anyway. So I always want to be creating opportunities to discover more about yourself. And often the way to discover more about yourself is to be able to discover those that I'm working with. And the best way to discover that is to have tasks that we do together. And that's what theater is. And we are building relationships that require us to be available to each other. And we all have these defense mechanisms and whatever. And we walk into a room together, and those defense mechanisms make us do different things. They make us pull back. They make us hide. They make us, it's hard to reveal yourself. And I would say that I've been in a lot of high school classrooms. I've been in some middle school classrooms. I've been in a lot of classrooms. I don't think I've ever been in a high school classroom or a middle school classroom that didn't have like this haze of sex and hormones and pheromones and other kinds of moans, and just you're teaching through stuff. And there's no way not to. But when they're in their own space, and it's something we're talking to them, and they are able to put some of the defense mechanisms down, or at least some of them, they're still going to be there, and there's going to be distractions, and there's a refrigerator over there. Jesus, I want to go over there. But like my mind's going to do what it's going to do, but it's a little easier to be here and not have that chemical reaction that happens in a high school classroom. So I don't know. I'm kind of leaning into this remote learning thing, and found some really cool stuff. So hi everybody. You can turn your videos on and join us. Still have some folks coming in. Hi Larry Grimm. God, I love your face. Yeah, cool. Hi, Sophie. So we're going to have at times more people than will fit on a laptop screen. So there may be some points where I might ask for some people to participate. And when you're not participating, and this is a great suggestion for any classroom, especially these public school classrooms that get stuck with 32 students, sometimes more, you're going to need to be able to work in groups. Breakout rooms are great and they're awesome. But we can also do this thing where we stop video. And we're going to do that now for this first exercise. We're going to be stopping our video, but there's another setting I want to show you that is going to help us. And TJ is going to share his screen and show how to do that setting. I think you got to go to that little triangle down at the bottom next to stop video. You got mute and stop video on the bottom left. You're going to click that little triangle, and TJ is going to share his screen and show you what he's doing. There it is. Thank you. Let's all click hide non-video participants. It's down there.
There's also, if you're on your phone, you'll have to go into the settings portion and click on the little dial to move it over.
Thank you. That's great to know. So we would be able to turn our videos off and only see the people that are participating. So that's a way that you can have a soft circle around the work that's being done. So let's play a game. This is called Walk the Line, but it's going to look different in this venue. Turn your videos off. And if I'm going to say some things, some statements, if it is true for you, turn your video on for 5 seconds and then turn it off. I was nervous coming here. I live in Philadelphia. I live in Arizona. I live in New York. I live in Washington, D.C. Cool. I live in L.A. I live in Chicago. I have a pet. I am afraid of spiders. Someday, I would like to go skydiving or bungee jumping. I enjoy cooking. I am good at math.
Can I do a half video?
All right. I think that's good. Let's pop back on. Cool. So that's Walk the Line. The statements can get any number of array, and they get any array of things. You could do any number of things with your statements, and they can be content related. Doesn't have to be drama. Now, there's going to be some stuff I do tonight that will be through the lens of theater, through the lens of drama, but I'm trying to keep this universal and helpful for Patty and my father-in-law. And that's how all this started. I was talking about, being grilled by my in-laws, my mother and father-in-law, on everything I'm doing with the DePaul job. We don't have much to do these days with quarantine. So you got to tell each other everything. But I was telling them about doing this stuff, and they're both teachers. Larry, my father-in-law, taught physics at ETHS for 30 years, and now he runs Genie Consulting, and he is working with middle schoolers in District 65, 20 teachers right now that are scared shitless to enter the remote classroom because they think that there's not going to be a sense of community. There's no way that you can get these kids buying in early so that they keep showing up. They think they're going to be teaching to 4 people by November. It's a concern. And I think a lot of the panic is around the fact that when we were thrown into remote teaching at whatever level it was in April, it was a shit show. And our leadership, and we didn't know what was going on, administration, wherever you were, and we also had panic, and we had students not showing up and parents and who knows, and God, it was just insane. That's not how this has to be, the fall, you know, that it's not, it doesn't have to be that way. We can have dynamic classrooms. TJ, we're going to throw everybody in a room with one other person for 4 minutes total. You're going to set that time at the beginning. You're going to be in a room with somebody, and this is a game called My New Best Friend. You have 4 minutes to learn everything you can about them, and that you can come back and say, oh my God, this is my new best friend, Stacy, and she is a Libra, and she does this, and blah, blah. You know, you need to be able to talk about them. You have 4 minutes whenever TJ throws you randomly into that room. See you in a minute.
We got matched.
That's great. That's great. I happen to know you very well, young man. What do you want to know about me?
Okay, let's focus on random facts that we might not.
You now have the job of introducing me to anybody that watches this video.
Got it. What is your favorite thing to eat on your birthday?
Enchiladas.
Enchiladas. Are you an only child, or how many siblings do you have?
I have one sister, older. She's 4 years older, and I have some steps that don't count.
Gotcha. Oh, do you have questions for me? Well, I think of more questions for you.
Yeah.
Or am I just supposed to ask you questions?
Well, I happen to know the secret that I'm not going to let everybody share. Not everybody's going to share. So probably neither of us are going to. But I know that I just wanted the 4 minutes. You have 4 minutes and everybody's doing it. And then the idea is that when they come back, they've been listening. They had to listen to the other person because they're going to be asked to share things. And then people are less looking inward. Oh my God, what am I going to say? And getting paralyzed with that thing. When is he going to call on me to talk about myself? It's just a way to like release the pressure, and you accidentally listen.
Oh, okay.
And then when we come back,
I like that.
When we come back, I might like, now I might ask, I'm not going to ask everybody to share, but you'll share. And I'll explain that like there's another layer where you could, after everybody's shared, you could ask somebody else to then introduce somebody else as their new best friend, just based on what they've learned being introduced once, you know. So like I introduce you once, and then later Krista has to introduce you. My new best friend, Christian. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to do that.
Gotcha.
It's just a little exercise. And
all right, let me think.
You have 30 seconds. You have 27.
Oh my God. What was your first car?
My first car was a Nissan Sentra, and it's an interesting story. I got this Nissan Sentra after turning down a 1969 El Camino that my stepfather was trying to give to me, and I refused it because I didn't want to have anything to do with him.
Really? Do you regret that decision?
So, where are we? Okay, we just did that thing. Now, does anybody feel brave enough to introduce their new best friend? And I will say this, there's another layer to this. We're not going to spend all the time to introduce all of our new best friends tonight, just we don't have the time. I want to just show what we're doing. But there's another layer that you should know about. Later, after Rachel introduces her new best friend, who's your new best friend, Rachel?
Michael.
Michael's your new best friend. After you introduce Michael, and then we're playing a little bit later, Krista may be brave enough to introduce her new best friend, Michael, based on Rachel's introduction. So you may be asked to introduce a second layer. Rachel, do you want to introduce your new best friend, Rachel?
Yes. My new best friend is Michael. He is currently living in New Jersey, but he is actually a New Yorker, so he's undercover in New Jersey. And he is he's an acting teacher like me, and like me, he teaches at a couple of different places. He's getting ready right now to teach Acting 1 and Acting 3 in Connecticut. And then, but he also teaches acting for musical theater. And Acting 1 is what it sounds like, and Acting 3 is heightened language. He's moving in with his partner in 6 months to a new place rather than into one or the other of their places. And he is sheltering in place with his parents, which I thought was brave of him. But he says, no, they're really cool. So he's got plenty of room, and he doesn't feel crowded at all, and he doesn't feel like they're infantilizing him, and he's having a good time. That's my new best friend, Michael.
Thank you, Rachel, so much. And so nice to meet you, Michael. Does anybody else feel brave enough to introduce a new best friend? Okay. Yeah. Oh, Sophie, thank you.
Hi, my new best friend is Stacy Joyce. And Stacy is a badass theater professor at Aurora University. It might be Aurora College. I think it's Aurora University. Okay, great. And Stacy is very, very amazing on her own, but she also has 2 sons. They are 6 and 9. And she has a nice husband named Adam. And Stacy and I grew up in the same town called Skokie, which is wild. And we went to the same high school, Niles North High School, go Vikings. Stacy now lives right across from Niles North. So, no, she grew up, she lives there. I'm getting nods. And she is really teaching kind of anything they throw her way, acting, directing. Last semester, she was teaching scene study. She is just overall a very cool person. She said she was an old lady and nervous about this, but I think she's great just the way she is, and she has nothing to be nervous about. So that's my new best friend, Stacy.
Agreed. Thank you. Stacy is a badass. Okay. Anybody else feeling brave? One more. Oh, Alexandria. Yes, bring it. Do that.
Hi, my new best friend is Erin. Erin is a new transplant to the Midwest. So welcome to the cold, but that's totally okay because she loves the cold, which, you know, I don't understand as her new best friend, but we still get along, even though I am a summer lover. Erin teaches theater and music theater. And something that I admire about Erin is that she is very loyal to her people. And one of the things that she misses while she's a new transplant here is she misses her people. So she would love to bring them all into the fold here to the Midwest. So that's Erin, my new best friend.
Let's do a thing. And I'm going to teach this exercise in the through theater. The vocabulary can change. The vocabulary can be whatever you want. And I'm just going to start the beginning of it. I stole this game from a youth group, middle school youth group game that we played with my church, Presbyterian church. It was called Shipwreck, where they would like, "Captain's coming!" and you stand and salute. "Man overboard, bow, stern." You go to these different places. I just translated it to theater. I'm looking around, and this might be true in a lot of our classrooms, our spaces, and things like that. We might be able to ask for a drama classroom do you have a 5x5 square of space that you could get up and move and do stuff and things like that? But you're not always going to have that in any math classroom or a physics room, something like that. But we can still start to think of these little boxes as space. And I think it's really important if we're going to create a space where we can come together and think about it that way and think about community, that we can start to think about these boxes and have some vocabulary around it. And so it's a game that helps me build that vocabulary. And I do this in a physical classroom too. As anybody who's been in my classes can attest to, it's a game I start and it ends up being the vocabulary. In my normal classroom, if I yell ensemble, in 5 seconds, a circle should have taken place. A perfect circle, a circle they care about. You know what I mean? Like that's what an ensemble circle is when I yell that. So it comes from this game. So we're going to try it seated. When I say upstage, what does that mean for everybody? Upstage. Cool. That, yeah, just like, or you could yell far if you're not doing theater. And downstage. Yeah, maybe downstage is that chin to head, like I'm right here. I'm Hamlet about to do the to be or not to be. That is the question. Yeah, that's where I am. So upstage and downstage and stage right. Ooh, yeah. What the hell, Zoom? We don't know what we're doing. We're all going to different directions. This looks stupid. Zoom. Hey, TJ, there's this badass setting where we can all make our screens and cameras do the same thing. We are going to mirror our video.
Yes.
Mirror my video.
Uncheck.
Check it. Let's check it.
Check it.
There it is. Stage right. Jason, stage right.
I'm working on it.
Okay. There it is. Stage left. Cool. Now I could do this a lot faster in the classroom as I go because, there's no lag. But I'm going to make sure everybody gets to where they're supposed to be before I move on to the next thing. Now, I'm going to say ensemble, and we're going to get to the place where we would be, some classrooms might want to say chalkboard, like we are here, we're ready to learn. Ensemble. And it's not downstage where we were. Maybe it's center stage. Maybe it's alert. Maybe it's ready. Whatever it is for you in your classroom. I'm here. I'm not, back on my bed, like 40 feet away, drinking a Starbucks coffee and not learning. So we could get here and we could be like, we're in the same place. We're here together. Cool. The game goes on. I would say, director's coming. And you would stand and salute. I could say, take 5. You sit down and cross a leg. I could say, Romeo, and you kneel and say, but soft, what light through yonder window breaks. And then I can talk about what a perfect line is and why Shakespeare has given Romeo a perfect line in that moment. And I can go into that. And they're interested because we're moving around playing this game. And then I can play the game some more. And then they know this perfect line that I can always go back to for Romeo. And then I can teach them Hamlet, to be or not to be. That is the question. And I can go into what a feminine ending is. But they have this game. So upstage. Go with me. And downstage. And stage right. Stage left. Director's coming. Romeo. What soft, what light through yonder window breaks. That's a perfect line. Cool. So we've just explored space. We have space. Let's all try a thing where we turn our videos off except for Rachel and Krista, if you guys don't mind doing this. So you two, hi. This is, you can unmute. You are on, let's do Lecoq's platform is what we're doing. In a classroom, we would have, I would say the floor is a platform. And there's one fulcrum holding it. And if I were to walk over to this side of the platform, it would start to tip. And if it was there for too long, it would fall and we would all fall into space and die. But if Krista went over here and Rachel was over here and balanced it out, it's fine. And then if Krista goes somewhere else, Rachel has to balance that out. And now we're in a 3-dimensional space. So it's not a platform. It's a 3-dimensional platform. So Krista. Make choices. Use the space, and it has to be balanced by Rachel. So if she's upstage, you have to be downstage, Rachel. You can also both get to your feet and use what space you have if you want. Awesome. Let's bring in 3 more volunteers. Okay, now you all weigh the same as Krista. You all together have to balance the space for her.
Oh, Jesus.
Awesome. And now Kyle weighs the same as everybody else, and Kyle can go anywhere he wants, but you guys have to balance the space. Everybody turn your videos on now. Kyle, you still have the power. Everybody weighs the same as Kyle. Keep balancing, Kyle. Cool. And now Larry Grimm has the power. We all weigh the same as Larry Grimm. If you need to run up and look at your screen to know who it is, go ahead. Ooh. Oh, we're making poses. Oh, yeah. Love it. Okay, cool. Ensemble. Thank you. That's that game. So it just opens us up to be thinking about space, and we can do some stuff. We're all going to turn our videos off. But right now, take a look at some names, everybody's names, everybody's faces. So when you turn your video off, I'm going to say somebody's name. I'll be up still, and I'll say somebody's name, and they will come up, and I will say 1 or 2 sentences, positive, that I've learned about them tonight. And then I'll turn my video off, and that person will say somebody else's name, and that person will come up. 1 or 2 sentences. So video's off. Ricky. The Ricky Harris. I am so floored by you. Every time I'm anywhere near you, and the way that you light up a room is just ridiculous.
Thank you. Krista. Krista, I love your energy through this platform, and I love that you have a 6-month-old and that you are like fine with that. And that is like, he's enough.
Stacy. I just love seeing your beautiful face, and I love hearing that you are still the amazing acting and directing and everything else teacher that I've always known you to be. And you're wonderful.
Oh, thank you. Oh, this is lovely. It's Sophie, my new best friend. I'm so proud. I love that that you have discovered a love of teaching that fills my heart with joy to know that you're going to bring your energy and positivity and passion to my school district and my kids possibly. And I love that. And so, yay.
Thanks, Stacey. Alexandra. Hi, Alexandra. I feel like I've known you forever, but only through photos and through your sister. I'm so delighted to see your face on this Zoom. What a treat. I know that you are amazing sister and musician. Yeah, so kind of amazing all around. You're awesome.
Thanks. How about, since I gushed about my new best friend, Michael. Hi, Michael. It's so nice to meet you and get to know you a little bit in this platform. I am really I'm really glad to know that you're a teacher out in New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, that region. And congratulations on moving into a new place with your partner. That's wonderful news. And I'm also really happy to know that you love your parents and have been staying with them and sheltering in place with them. So it's lovely.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to pick Aaron. Aaron! I was so happy to see your name when I came into the room. You're such a dear old friend. I'm one of your people that I wish could go to Wisconsin with you. Something that the room doesn't know, that we met during our grad school auditions and became immediate fast friends. Like from that moment, it was like click, and it's been that way ever since.
Oh, thank you, sir. I am going to invite Christian to join me. Hi, Christian. I have not actually met you in any way, shape, or form, but you exude this energy that I want to be in the space with. And I don't know what it is, if it's the color, if it's the hair, if it's your smile, your spirit, but there is just something that emanates from you that everybody else's Zoom box, I was like, who is this Christian? I want to get to know this person. So your energy just comes all the way through this platform, which is a beautiful, beautiful thing.
Thank you so much. Kieran. Did Kieran get called on? Okay, perfect. Hi, Kieran. I just want to say first that I think that your that wherever you are looks very like rustic and really nice. But but I also want to say, you know, through this, I've also this is my first time meeting you, and so far you just seem very attentive and here and present, and I know that can be sometimes really difficult on Zoom, so I just wanted to shout that out.
Thank you. Thank you. I would like to invite Rob Schrader, my new best friend today. Rob, hey. Well, this is my first time meeting you, and it's really been a pleasure. I think what I really appreciate about you as a person is that you're a theater person, but you're also an educator. And that really means a lot to me, being how I am still pursuing an education in theater, and how that I feel like people like you are with people who aren't in the industry. People sometimes overlook people like you, but I wanted you to know that I appreciate what you do, and that you are one of the many people in this room that is a theater educator. So I wanted to thank you, and I think you have a very bubbly personality. So it was a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you. I am going to Rachel Slavic. I can find you.
super enjoy the fact that you you were like the first to volunteer today for like everything, and I'm like not that in this sort of situation, so I appreciate that and appreciate seeing you. We see each other on occasion here and there, and it's good to see you again, and it's always good to see old I shouldn't say old. That's how I feel sometimes. So people who have been around, who have built the community of arts educators, as well as some younger educators like Kieran, who's 21, and that's frightening. So thank you, Rachel.
Thank you, and I am old, so you can say that around me for sure. But thank you. It's good to see you too, Mika. Show your beautiful face. Hi, Mika. I loved having you as a student. You are a fierce fighter for all the things that are important to you, and I really enjoyed being a part of that fight. That was really fun for me, and I can't wait to see what you do next. So thank you.
Oh, thank you, Miss Slavic. I will choose. Who hasn't gone? Has Sperling gone? Sperling was my first teacher at Shy Arts. I learned so much from him. Oh my God, and especially like being in the hallway. It's raining. I'm outside, but especially being in the hallway and just like stopping and having conversations. Always brightened my day, even when I was having a bad day. Sperling always made my day better. So I love Sperling so much.
Thanks, Mika.
Of course.
I'm proud of like you and Kieran and Martin, all the people who are, and Christian, who like were our students and are now the teachers. I will call Robert Chambers to the stand, please. Hello, Rob. Rob, I am eternally grateful to you for bringing me into Shy Arts. And side note, thank you to Larry Grimm for having a baby, so there was a position available for me to come to Shy Arts. And Rob, just for always being open and available and supportive and leading with ideas and just throwing stuff at the wall and letting us all throw our own stuff at the wall. And yeah, just being a ray of light in the world, and we desperately need those now.
Thank you, Jason.
You're welcome.
I will call Larry Grimm. I'm calling because the ironic thing is I was just going to text you right before this. And, you know, because I don't know if you know, but Martin and Christian, are you involved? I don't know. I can't see you. A bunch of the 2013 alums are doing excerpts from Twilight to raise money for various charities. And it is terribly exciting because Larry and I put that into the curriculum in 2010. And it is just really, really amazing to see sort of the fruits of this stuff happening. So you've been on my mind a lot, Larry. They've been talking about this, and I love you to death. I've known you, I feel like, forever. And
thank you, Rob. And so good to know. I didn't know that. I've been following the Shy Arts alums here and there when I can with their various projects. So just side note, please hit me up about that, Christian and Martin, and I would love to support that. That's so cool. So I will call TJ, my new best friend. I feel honored to get to know you in a short amount of time. TJ, we had less time to get to know each other because one of the things I'm appreciating about you today is your sort of co-piloting skills for Scott Westerman in this forum and Zoom, and watching you navigate. So we had like 2 minutes left to get to know each other. But I just think it's a huge skill to, and really unintentionally maybe sharing a cool platform within the platform, which is to have help with the tech in the midst of teaching I love. And I was in awe of watching you negotiate and navigate today, TJ, and pleasure to meet you.
Thank you, Larry. Pleasure to meet you. Scott, get back up here. Right? I don't think there's anyone else. He's back. Scott, I appreciate how your enthusiasm and how much passion you have for teaching. Every time I'm in a Zoom room with you, it's infectious, and I really appreciate that. And thank you.
Thank you, man. All right. Let's all come back. I love it when it goes more than 1 or 2 sentences, and I always think that that's more important than my content. So that's great. I love the stuff that is said, and I feel fuller. But what we also have is something cool. So do you remember who you gave a compliment to? Yeah, and do you know from whom you got a compliment? Cool. So I'm just gonna do like this, like just touch my video camera, and then Ricky, you would do it next, and then whoever, we're gonna go in the order that we just created a pattern of. In order, I'll go, and then Ricky, and you're just gonna simply like put your hand up and cover your camera in order. Watch for the person before you. Nice. Let's keep it going and see if you can anticipate a little bit more. We have a pattern. Now we have a pattern. Now we can like do stuff. The next phase of this, though, you can do stuff all over the camera. What we found out this summer was that you can also make it to where we're all seeing the same thing. I'm going to show you how to make a circle, because once you have a circle, you can do anything theater. I mean, that's what so much of what we have to do. I'm sure in an opera classroom, Alexandria, everything starts with a circle. If you're, yeah. So the problem with Zoom is you always see yourself in the second square. So if whoever pops up first, if we all turn our video off and I come up, Ricky, like if we all put on our videos in that order, we will create the order that we just made out of the pattern. So let's try that real quick. And there will be a problem, and I'll show you how to fix that problem in a minute. And then Ricky will be next. It's not going to be right yet. Excellent, cool, interesting. Now, we all should be looking at something similar, but our own video is going to be in the second square on the top. And it fucks everything up. We can't. We don't have a circle. But you know what? In a room, I never see myself anyway. So if you go to your own little TV screen, your own little square, and you got mute, and then you got 3 little dots, I'm going to click on the 3 little dots, and I'm going to go down and hide self view. And if you know where you were in the circle, who you're between, we're looking at the same thing, right? So if we can actually have direction, we can do zip, and then Ricky can say zip, and we can go in that direction. And when you get to like a corner, like Sophie, you're in the top left corner, you would still go that direction, and Alexander would pick it up on the next row for me. I would see that, but go the direction you would as though they were next to you. So let's just try going in one direction, zip, 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 zip. That's all. And see if we can do this. Zip.
Zip.
Other way. Yeah. Other way, Stacy. Yeah. Other way, Sophie. Other way, Sophie. Yeah. Zip. Zip. Nice. Yes. Aaron.
Zip.
Other way.
Zip.
Yeah. There you go.
Zip.
Other way.
Zip.
Yep. I'm just
Zip.
letting you know what we're seeing. Next should be Rachel.
Zip.
Other way.
Zip.
Uh-huh. Yep, that's right, Mika.
Zip.
Zip.
That's right, Jason. That's right, Rob.
Zip.
Other way, Larry. If you can.
Zip.
Cool. You can also do it in your settings if you don't want to be oriented wrong. That's right, TJ. Martin.
Zip.
That's right. That's right. And then Rob was not there before. Where were you, Rob? Oh, you dropped out and then came back on, didn't you? That's okay. Cool. Now Rob is after Martin. Rob Schrader's after Martin and before me. So let's try that. We're all going zip and see if we can go in that direction. And let's unmute and let's not worry about multiple voices and fucking up the audio. It doesn't matter. Let's be in a room together and be loud and like, so it's not just my voice. Thank you. This is like, yeah, awesome. Rob's, there he is. Okay, cool. Rob, don't sweat it if we lose you. It's no big deal. All right, here we go. You ready, Ricky? Zip.
Yes. Zip.
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 So let's play where it doesn't matter what direction you point your body. Like this. Like the but we can still do zip in that direction, zap back the other direction. You know, it just means you got to be listening, and it might be some lag, and you're going to be slower, but you can still have the same zip, 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 zap. Oh, we're changing directions. If you can get your bodies oriented where I know that I'm toward Ricky here, then you can open up a zop. You can open up where it gets to me and I could say, Larry Graham, zop. And suddenly Larry's got it and he can choose which direction to go. And we have to be watching physical cues as well as vocal. See how that works? It's useful and it's a jumping off point for 10,000 theater games. Or ensemble building exercises, or community shit, whatever. It's the trick. If you want to try doing zip one way and zap back the other way and not worry about our bodies. Okay, cool. Let's see if we can get around all of us through a zip one time before we do any changing of direction. Let's just get used to that flow and see if we can anticipate that person before you. And here we go. Zip.
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 Zip. Zip.
Zip.
Zip.
Zip.
Zip.
Zip.
Zip.
Zip.
Zip.
Zip.
Zip.
Zap.
Goes back
Zip.
to Ricky. Zip.
Yeah.
And this zip goes to you, Rob Schrader. Zip.
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 No, that goes to Larry.
Zip. All right. I can't
Now
see myself. I'm like, oh, it's Mika.
It's so much harder to do the focusing and getting everybody on the same page, but it's the same thing. You know what I mean? They're kind of crappy at it in the room too at the beginning, and if you've never passed electricity in your hand, pass the electricity, like there's a way in which there's a process, and when you get through the work and hopefully it's not just tedious, but we could get to the point where we're actually doing it and anticipating, and it requires focus. And at this point, if we were in this situation, I would probably put us into breakout rooms and see if we can do it in smaller circles. And then maybe it goes 4 breakout rooms, and then I'll bring it to 2 breakout rooms, and then 1, and see if we're better at it after a day. And then, there's all kinds of things you can build on that. But once you get good at one, you can do a number of things. The way that you can see yourself again, if people would like to do that, is you have to go to somebody else's box, somebody else's screen, and you go down their drop-down menu to show self-view. And then you should arrive back in that second spot. The next thing I want to do was totally for Patty. He's not here, though.
He is here. I think he was just off video, he said.
Oh, really?
He's
Patty,
here.
are you here? Oh, I totally thought of this for you. I don't even know what kind of math you teach, so I might be totally wrong, but I was thinking of math about this. But it's a theater thing, too. You're going to have 5 of you. You know how to do a turn off video. You know how to create an order. You know that we always end up in this second box. And you 5 are going to problem solve, with one of you being the eye and the others being in the 4 squares up. So one person has their video off, the other 4 has it on. And we are going to create a geometric shape using all 4 screens. You have an eye and 4 participants that will make the lines of the geometric shape, and you'll have 10 minutes, and you'll come back and show us.
Me and Christian are here. We're just hidden.
Mm-hmm.
So do you have a shape in mind that you'd like to try? Mika's driving, so it can't get too crazy.
I mean, we can make like a diamond.
I think it's against the law in Illinois to make a shape while driving. I think so. Christian?
Yeah.
What shape do you see? What do you think?
I honestly think that we could try for a triangle. We could definitely do a triangle.
Okay. Well, Christian, tell me. I'm going to tell you what I see. I see Rob S is my upper left-hand box. Rob C is my upper right hand. Then Kieran, lower left, and Mika is lower right.
I see the exact same thing.
Excellent. Okay, good. Okay,
It's actually what I see.
That's fabulous.
That's great. That works for me.
So do we want to try, what did you say, triangle?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that means the 2 Robs want to tilt in towards one another.
Is it this way?
No, they got Rob S, you were doing it right. Rob C, the opposite way.
There you go.
Rob S, the other way. Rob S, the other way. There we go. All right. All right. And Rob C?
I'm changing my mirror. Does
Okay.
this work? Whoops.
The other way. There we go. There we go. So yeah. So that, and then you guys would be, you guys are the lower half of the triangle. We're
Right.
supposed to
So
pick
we have to
one
be.
triangle out of all of you, right?
Right.
Okay. So I think the other way, Kieran. I think the other way. There we go.
Okay.
Can you try and connect the tips of your fingers to the tip of Rob S's? And now just open it up a little bit, Kieran. Open it up a little bit, a little bit, a little bit, and rise up a little bit, Kieran. There you go. All right, Mika. Somebody's got the wheel for you.
Mika, just pull over.
He's in the car.
Pull over.
You can see the bottom.
Mika, is Jesus? Did Jesus have the wheel?
Yes.
So, Mika, so you see what Kieran's doing? Can you do that on the opposite side and try and connect to the lower part of Rob Chambers' shirt?
Oops.
And yeah, I think that's good, Mika. Just open up the upper hand. There we go. Open it up a little more, a little more, a little more. Do you see? That looks triangle-y. What do you think, Christian?
From my side, actually, Mika needs to like close the gap a little bit. Yeah, because I'm looking at Mika's tips of her fingers connecting to Chambers' elbows, almost.
Rob Chambers, I think you should turn forward. I think you've gotten to. So turn forward and then.
Like that?
She's got her friends on.
She's got assistance. I like that. She's got her own aid. I think that's kind of awesome.
I love it.
Yeah. Rob, can you turn forward? Do you see how Rob S is kind of using, like it's making his whole, there we go.
Like that?
No.
It's a workout.
It kind of is.
Oh gosh.
I mean,
everybody take a breather, get some water, shake it out. Shake it out. All right.
I have to say, you guys did that was really well. Like I could see the triangle. It was a great triangle.
Illuminati confirmed.
You know what I think would be fun? It'd be fun if we could like do like a sort of like a Madonna thing where we like 1, 2, 3, snap, and everybody pop into the triangle.
What are we doing, Madonna? Okay, I'm in.
We're gonna try and make a little choreographed out of it. It'll be like 1, 2, 3, and everybody goes. All right, and kind of hit the pose. You got to go right to it. So, Mika, your assistant has to shoot that arm straight out. Is that it? Okay? Yeah. All right. 1, 2, 3.
Ooh.
Nice. 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 What do you think, Christian? What do you want to say?
I think it looks great. I think that Chambers, I feel like you're in a very uncomfortable position, and I'm not sure how to do it. There we go. I think that would be fine. Yeah. I think that's great.
One other like
I got really
little thing about these breakout rooms is like we didn't need to make 2 breakout rooms. We could have made 1 breakout room and kept the main room as the other workspace too. Like that's another thought about it. Hey guys.
Hi.
Welcome. All right. So who wants to go first and show us your shape? Rachel, you're muted. You guys want to go first?
Yeah. I think we can go first, but we need to, everybody who's not in the group or is not a part of our shape needs to go non-video participant, then we need to hide the non-video participants.
Exactly.
So, Scott, you can hide all the non-video participants, Scott or TJ. Yeah, so Rob's there. Now, Rob Chambers, turn yours on. And now, Kieran.
Right.
And now, Mika. Are we ready to show our geometric shape? 1, 2, 3, boom!
1,
2,
3,
4. And let's shape it up.
Go with the shape.
It's more of an oval this time.
That's great. All right, thank you. All right, so I want to take a minute to answer any questions or open up just a brief amount of discussion, and then we'll close the night with a final and maybe slightly more intense game of walk the line. We'll sandwich the night. What does anybody have to ask or clarify or say we should do this again once we learn how to play Zip Zap Zop? Or what do you got? Questions?
I think one thing, just to make sure, is that device-wise, what's different and what's the same. I think that we were pretty consistent with our last group of kids. Everybody, I think, was on a computer for the most part, so they had the same settings and same things to go. But iPad is a little different, and phones, Android or iPhone, are a little different as far as settings-wise and mirroring-wise.
That's right. I think I need to make a video of even the settings that I set up to be able to make breakout rooms. You have to have that in the settings. It's all very confusing. There's like 9 different settings. It goes to show that it kind of is on the administrators too, to like the DePaul team. One of the things that was so successful, and it was not on accident that everybody was unified. They went in there early, like, what technology do you have? They sent green screens to everybody. They did it right. Part of the training was you need to be in this kind of a space and this with this much, and it was the same every time. And it was their bedrooms. It was kind of cool because they have their personality just plastered behind them, these backgrounds that yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it just occurred to me that one of the more successful things across the board, and people can let me know if I'm wrong, but it seemed like everyone was super fluid with sequencing. You know, I go after Rob, and based on starting with the appreciation game, which can be, I think, a really great foundation. But I thought that once that sequence, if you think about all the activities that we know of that involve sequencing, one that occurred to me that you could dovetail into is just the one-word story. You could do it either verbally. You know, I know that if Rob says once, I can say upon. But the chat feature might be a really cool way to do that too. There's something about the written word and in silence. That's
kind of interesting. That's really cool. And to have that pattern, it sets up the order automatically, whether you're in the circle or the grid in order or not. That's good.
And, you know, when we play it, I would love to know at a future date, like my experiences in playing it in the classroom, it quickly goes abstract, surreal, and off the rails. It'd be very interesting to see what cohesion can exist in this forum or not.
No, yeah, absolutely. Any other thoughts?
Yeah, I have a question. This came up in my teaching this semester. What about kids who don't have a safe place at home to play theater games? I taught acting for musical theater, and I had this student whose family is very conservative and not thrilled that he was majoring in musical theater, and he's like, I don't have any place at home I can sing. And I had to accommodate him by allowing him to do written exercises, but how can we include that kind of a student in the ensemble building?
I had a student of mine work from her car, because similarly, she was in a house that didn't feel great. So, and I don't even think it was her car. I think it was her friend's car. and again, you're dealing with connectivity issues. But you know, I mean, maybe that was already explored if there was another space to use. But I had some students who did work from their cars, and yeah, of course, they're less mobile, but at least they could be there and they could sing and they could be in it. But that's a tough one.
I mean, Mika's doing this from her car. I guess that's actually a pretty good solution, I think.
To be honest, I was doing a lot of my schoolworks and like meetings in my car because I have siblings at home, and I'm pretty sure there's other students that have siblings too that are younger than them.
and it is a hassle to be inside the house while trying to do theater games, trying to just connect with other people when you're at home.
I don't know how feasible this is going forward for everyone, but some of the things that my cohort pitched after our last quarter online, with businesses being remote, there are a lot of open spaces. So we're looking into trying to get access to those spaces for free for people to leave their homes to work and take classes, like dance studios that aren't having people and things like that. So just a thought.
I did have one thought. It doesn't translate totally to everything, but one of the things that I offered to my students, so I teach private singing lessons, and when everything went online, most of my students were okay. There was one student who didn't have a very safe space, but most of them actually were really self-conscious just of other people hearing them. So I actually offered a lot of sound dampening exercises, so semi-occluded, so bubbles, lip trills, singing through the straw, things like that, which would translate to the vocal exercises and do good things, but it really drastically brings down the sound. So some of the students were able to make more sound that way. I don't know how much that translates into some of these other games, but it was once short-term Band-Aid that we found.
What's cool about this group is we have so many different teaching levels. We've got from middle school to college to adults, and there are going to be any number of problems and administrative things that go along with that. And I would just say, teach that person. Like that's the one to teach. I mean, institutions need to figure out ways to teach even the people that don't show up feeling safe. And that's when you have a physical building or not. When I was doing like upstage, downstage, or like setting things, if we're on our feet and I'm looking at every room on my screen, I see all these different rooms, I'm going to set myself upstage to be the lowest common denominator of distance from the screen of somebody else. Like who in here doesn't have the space to go farther back and create more depth? And I'm going to try to create that upstage based on what I see. That way I'm not calling out somebody on their lack of space or creating those things where they are in a different light than everybody else and drawing attention to that stuff. Let's do one more round with an added level that I'll explain while we're playing of the Walk the Line game, where we turn our videos off. I'm going to say a statement, and if it's true for you, you can turn your video on for 5 seconds and then turn it off. I thought tonight was valuable. Aw, thank you. Good. I think I learned something about myself tonight. I had to do something with other people that I didn't know how to do before and was at least mildly successful. I feel better going into my next teaching situation. Now, I really want to take a class from Larry Grimm. Maybe we should make this a series. Anybody agree with that? That's just a suggestion there, Larry. In order that we created earlier, the pattern that we created, who you gave a compliment to and then who you got a compliment from, you get to say a statement. And if it's true for you, for anybody, we will turn our cameras on for 5 seconds and then turn it off. So I will give one more statement, and then Ricky, you have an option. You can also say pass. I'll give one more statement. I have lied during this game? Cool. Good, good. I'm going to give one more, Ricky, because I want it to be a true thing. Let's all say something true tonight. I was so nervous before this.
I don't hate Zoom as much as I did before.
I met someone tonight who I would like to continue to connect with.
I found that I could enjoy games through Zoom.
I hardly knew anyone in this room before, but now I feel part of an ensemble.
In the course of this night, the sun has set and I don't have any lights on, so I've been plunged into darkness.
I am excited about exploring the amount of games I can play over Zoom.
I am more optimistic about what we can provide for our students and our teachers over Zoom after this meeting.
I think that we are living through the end of the world as we know it. Christian's having a good laugh.
I am excited to see what my professors or like what other teachers and other students will bring to the classes.
While I very much wish we could all safely be in our normal teaching spaces, I am looking forward to rethinking some of the ruts that I perhaps have been in knowingly or unknowingly.
I think it's me. My brain is scrambled because every time I use Zoom, I realize that I am working a different type of observational skill, but I'm excited to continue growing it.
Martin.
I am excited to learn from younger generations what we can use this platform to do as well.
I am excited to bring this back to my teachers once I see or hear from them again.
I am excited to get back with students no matter what form, because I am sick of spending time by myself.
Everybody come back. Cool, cool, cool. All right. That's what I got. I think that I actually like this venue, and there's some cool stuff that we can get to. And I would say that those DePaul kids in a 3-week program, yeah, those summer programs are always like these intensives, and they're self-selecting, but these kids are wanting some connection, and they were open for it, and they were thirsty, and if we can find a way to make this venue a way that they can discover more about themselves, no matter what your content is, that's going to make them more open to it. I mean, I think about what I actually remember from high school, and I aced a lot of chemistry tests, but it was rote. It was memorized, and I couldn't have aced it the next day. But I remember projects with people. I remember when I had to explore my own relationship to the stuff, and I had to do something with people. I remember that shit. That's what's up. Thank you, guys. Anybody else have any parting words?
Thank you, Scott. This is awesome.
Yeah, thanks, Scott.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Scott.
So,
Bye.